Welcome back to Digital Rage. I'm Jeff, the producer here at Byer Company. This is our first episode for our new collaboration called the Byer-Nichols Threat Brief, written by cybersecurity expert Jeremy Nichols. This will be a twice-a-month report presenting data about the latest cybersecurity threats and trends. This first episode will be published on July 21st, and the data covers July 1st through the 15th. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the deep dive. You know, in cybersecurity, it really feels like you're trying to walk on quicksand sometimes. The ground's always shifting, threats change constantly, and just trying to keep up feels like a full-time job.
It absolutely can.
But what if you could get the really crucial insights, those aha moments from the latest intelligence without having to wade through all the data yourself?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Well, that's exactly our mission today. We're doing a deep dive into the Byer-Nichols Threat Brief cybersecurity data specifically for July 1st to 15th, 2025.
A very recent snapshot.
Exactly. Think of it as your shortcut to getting, really well informed, quickly, thoroughly.
Yeah.
This report gives us that precise picture of what's been happening in the big ransomware players, critical vulnerabilities, those high-profile incidents, the stuff that makes headlines.
And you're so right about the dynamic nature. It moves incredibly fast. What was a major threat last month might be, well, old news today, or it's mutated into something else entirely. Understanding these trends isn't just for security pros anymore, is it? It's becoming vital for pretty much everyone online.
Absolutely. The speed is just,
So this kind of focused look, incredibly relevant.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The evolving battlefield. First half of July 2025. One name really jumps out on the ransomware front. Qilin.
Qilin.
It was responsible for, 16.3% of attacks? That's huge.
It is a significant chunk, yeah.
So what's behind that? Why was Qilin hitting so hard during this period?
Well, Qilin's dominance isn't just about how effective the malware itself is, though it is effective. It's also about its operational model. It's quite flexible, making it accessible for various bad actors. But what's really striking, honestly, when you look at who they're hitting, it's small businesses. They are just bearing the brunt of this. The report says organizations with 500 employees or less, get this, accounted for 80.65% of victims.
80%. Wow. That's actually pretty alarming.
It is. Very alarming. Clearly the primary target group.
And within that group, are there specific sectors getting hit harder?
Yes, definitely. Manufacturing leads the pack at almost 16%, 15.94%.
Okay.
Followed pretty closely by technology at 13.55%. Then you see construction, financial services, retail kind of lining up behind them.
So manufacturing and tech, why those two, do you think? Is it just weaker defenses in smaller companies, or is there something else going on?
It's definitely more nuanced than just weak defenses, although, smaller security budgets can be a factor. For manufacturing, it's often about that mix of IT and OT operational technology.
Right, the factory source stuff.
Exactly. That OT is often older, maybe less secure, and now it's increasingly connected to the main IT network. Creates a sort of perfect storm for attackers, a really vulnerable spot.
Okay, that makes sense. And tech companies.
For tech, it's often about the data they hold. Intellectual property, customer info, and sometimes, ironically, they're seen as a stepping stone.
A gateway to bigger targets.
Precisely. Hitting a smaller tech vendor can sometimes give attackers access further up the supply chain.
And geographically, where are these attacks concentrated?
The concentration is pretty stark there, too. The USA accounts for almost half, 49% of victims.
49%. Right.
Then you've got Canada, Italy, the UK, Germany following behind.
So heavily Western-focused, it seems.
It does seem that way, yeah. It shows that even though cybercrime is global, the attackers could be anywhere. The impact often clusters in areas with, high digital adoption and economic activity.
Okay, let's sort of unpack this. So the picture is small businesses, especially manufacturers and tech firms, mostly in the U.S. It's fascinating how clear that target profile is.
It really is. Not just who, but how their specific weaknesses are exploited.
Right. Now, moving beyond the main targets, the report talks about trending adversaries. Groups like Gamaredon and Scattered Spider, Silk Typhoon, Tag 140, UNC 5174, Void Arachne. What makes these groups trending?
Trending usually means their activity level has spiked. Or perhaps they're using new methods, new TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures that have really caught the eye of security researchers.
So they're either busier or smarter, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It signals they're becoming more effective or maybe more innovative in how they attack. It shows how agile these groups are. They adapt constantly.
Like startups, but for crime.
Yeah, not a bad analogy, unfortunately. Always iterating.
And on the malware side, the report flags Anatsa and Gh0stRAT. Anatsa, that rings a bell. Banking Trojan, right?
That's its main game, yes. Anatsa is typically focused on stealing financial credentials, trying to get into bank accounts, authorized transactions, very direct financial threat.
Okay. And Gh0stRAT, that sounds more like general spying. Remote access.
Exactly. Gh0stRAT is a remote access Trojan. It gives the attacker persistent backdoor control over a compromised machine.
So they can do pretty much anything.
More or less, exfiltrate data, monitor user activity, even use that machine to launch further attacks deeper into a network. Its prevalence is a big worry because it represents that deep, persistent access, hitting both individuals and companies hard.
So we've got direct theft with Anatsa and deep system compromise with Gh0stRAT, both trending.
And if you connect that to the trending adversaries, it shows this constant churn, new groups, persistent malware types. The landscape just keeps adapting at this incredible speed. Attackers don't stand still.
Relentless innovation on their side.
Yeah.
Which brings us to vulnerabilities, the open doors they're walking through.
Right, the CVEs.
The report lists actively exploited CVEs, and interestingly includes some brand new 2025 ones already, like CVE 2025-47812 in a Wing FTP server, and CVE 2025-6554 in Chromium V8.
Yeah, seeing 2025 CVEs exploited this early in the year is, well, it's concerning.
What's the significance there?
Yeah.
Especially the Chromium one.
Well, a CVE, as you know, common vulnerabilities and exposures, is a known flaw. The fact that attackers are jumping on these 2025 ones immediately shows how fast they operate. And the Chromium V8 one, that's particularly critical because Chromium is the engine behind so many browsers. Chrome, Edge, others. A flaw there exposes a massive number of users worldwide. It's a huge attack surface.
Wow. Okay. And there were others mentioned too. Telemessage, Microsoft SQL Server.
Yep. Showing a range of systems already under fire with these fresh vulnerabilities.
But here's something that also caught my eye. The list wasn't just new CVEs. It included older ones, too, from like 2014, 2016, 2019, things affecting PHP Mail or Ruby on Rails. Why are these still being actively exploited years later? Shouldn't they be patched by now?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really boils down to a fundamental ongoing problem, patching discipline.
People just aren't doing it.
Often, no. Especially, perhaps, in smaller organizations or with older legacy systems, they just don't get updated consistently. So these known flaws with readily available patches, sometimes for years, they remain unaddressed.
Making easy targets. Low-hanging fruit.
Exactly. Attackers don't always need super sophisticated zero-day exploits when they know plenty of doors are just left unlocked with old, known vulnerabilities.
It's like knowing a house has a faulty lock that was reported years ago and just trying the handle.
Precisely. It raises that crucial question. Why, despite fixes being available for so long, are these still working for the bad guys?
It really points to organizational practice, or lack thereof.
The human element, or maybe organizational inertia, is often the weakest link.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Beyond the stats and the CVE numbers, the report dives into some specific high-profile incidents. Real-world stuff.
Yeah, the headline grabbers.
Let's look at a few. First, those browser attacks, a Chrome Zero Day, and these Foxy Wallet Firefox attacks. What made those stand out?
Well, the Chrome Zero Day is alarming because Zero Day means the flaw was actively exploited before Google even knew about it.
So no defense ready.
Right. No patch available initially. Millions of users potentially exposed until a fix could be developed and rolled out. It's like finding out there's a secret door to your house you never knew existed and someone's already using it.
Scary thought. And Foxy Wallet.
That highlights attacks targeting browser extensions. Things people willingly install thinking they're safe, but they've been poisoned with spyware. It shows how attackers abuse trusted channels.
Okay, so attacking us right where we live online, the browser. Now get this one. This detail just leaps out. An employee apparently got paid $920.
$920.
Yeah, just $920 for login credentials. Credentials that were then used in a $140 million bank heist.
Wow. Just wow.
What does that tell you? That tiny payment for such a massive outcome.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? First, about the insider threat, whether someone was tricked or was complicit. But more profoundly, it shows the incredible, almost unbelievable value of even seemingly small pieces of information. A single login, bought for less than $1,000, unlocked access to $140 million. The leverage is astronomical.
It completely changes how you think about a minor security lapse, right?
Absolutely. It underscores how attackers can turn a tiny crack into a catastrophic breach, and maybe it says something uncomfortable about the risk-reward calculation someone might make.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. The report also mentioned a few other things quickly. The U.S. DOJ busting a North Korean IT worker scheme.
Right, highlighting state-sponsored activity, often financially motivated to fund other operations, shows law enforcement is active on that front.
And police taking down an investment fraud wing that stole $10 million.
Classic cybercrime for profit. Huge driver for a lot of this activity.
Also, Hunter's International ransomware apparently shut down, but then rebranded as World Leaks.
The rebrand. Very common tactic in the ransomware world. They shut down one brand, maybe because it's getting too much heat or its reputation is shot, and then they pop up under a new name, often using the same underlying infrastructure or tools. Helps evade detection for a while.
Sneaky. And finally, a North American ABT group using an exchange zero-day against China.
Yeah, that points to the geopolitical side of things. Advanced persistent threats, often state-linked, engaging in espionage or disruption against other nations, using powerful zero-day exploits for targeted attacks. It's a whole different layer of cyber activity.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. To summarize what we've gone through today for you, the listener, this first half of July 2025 really showed us a few key things. We saw small businesses taking a massive hit, especially in manufacturing and tech.
A huge percentage.
We saw this constant evolution, new agile adversaries, new malware like Anatsa and Gh0stRAT.
But also...
But also those old unpatched vulnerabilities still causing major problems years later.
Still providing easy entry points.
And then we saw the real-world impacts.
Yeah.
Massive bank heist from Titan's initial compromises, state-sponsored activity, browser attacks hitting everyday users. It's all very tangible.
Absolutely. And understanding these trends, seeing these patterns, it's just crucial for everyone now. It doesn't matter if you run a small shop, work in a big tech firm, or honestly, just browse the web. These insights help you grasp the risks out there.
So what does this all really mean for you? I think the big takeaway is that cybersecurity isn't just an IT department problem anymore.
Not at all.
It's really a shared responsibility. It affects all of us. Every click we make, every app we download, every system that doesn't get patched. It's all part of the picture. Being informed, like you are by tuning in, is honestly your first line of defense.
Well said. And maybe to leave you with one final thought to chew on, building on that heist story.
Yeah.
Given that an employee received only $920 less than $1,000 for credentials that enabled a $140 million theft, what does that tell us about how the digital underground actually values information right now? And maybe more importantly, how should it change our perception of what we consider a minor security lapse? Think about the potential ripple effects, the sheer scale of impact that can come from even the smallest, most overlooked vulnerability or mistake.
Reach out to us at jbyer.com for comments and questions. Follow us at Byer Company on social media. And if you'd be so kind, please rate and review us in your podcast app.